Hello, everybody. Welcome. I guess this is technically the last episode of my monthly music series. I know I've already done my 2 episodes for December, which have been posted, but I wanted to culminate the whole series with a year-end retrospective. And this should be just a short video. I just wanted to go over everything that I listened to. Which I know that sounds like a huge undertaking, but it's really not. Um, what I want to do is let you know what I listened to the most of in 2022 as a collective. So if that's your speed, then you're in the right place. Otherwise, take another route. Go watch Jeff Witcher talk about Pink Floyd. Go watch Glenn Kellaway talk about the greatest singers. Um, Go watch Aaron Mutha Alamere hang out in his record room and have beer. There are so many other better things that you could be doing with your time. So I do appreciate you sticking around for this little mundane piece of YouTube entertainment, as it were. So, as a whole, in the entire year, this is the first year that I've ever cataloged my listening, and I enjoyed doing that. It held me accountable to listen to more music and not to just put an album in, listen to a couple tracks, take it out. It held me accountable to listen to full records. So with that being said, in the year 2022, and keep in mind, for well over 2/3 of this year, I was working at home almost exclusively, so I had time to listen to a lot of music. So my projection is that 2023, the numbers are going to be a little bit smaller. So the entire number of albums that I listened to collectively, 688 unique albums. That's not 688, repeats of the first John Prine album. That's 688 unique discs, whether that's a CD, whether that's a vinyl record, 688 unique discs of music. I was trying to push to 700 once I got into December, but I just had so much to listen to, and then the holidays, I couldn't do it. So I got to 688. Now, let me first uh, let me talk about my top artist of the year, and I've got how many? 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Yeah, I got 10. A lot of these were tied, but I wanted to pick 10, and these were the 10 that came in at the highest. So, um, the top one, two, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were all clear winners. Everything else is pretty close. But for all intents and purposes, let's just keep it as a ranking. So let's just say number 10 in the year of our Lord 2022. No big surprises, the Monkees. I listened to a lot of the Monkees. This is the year I really started getting into their deep catalog for the first time. I got that Headquarters box set that came out toward the end of 2022. Uh, I got a nice little CD set that had their first 5 studio albums on CD like this. This is Pisces and Aquarius. So I listened to a lot of Monkees in 2022, and I'm really happy that I'm getting into their back catalog. Number 9, a band that I talk about all the time on my channel, the Avett Brothers. That's right. This is their album True Sadness. Came out in 2016 on American Records, which of course is Rick Rubin's label. This was a really interesting album. This was actually the first Avett Brothers album that I got uh, that I bought, essentially. This isn't the album that I listen to the most, but I'm trying to pull some albums that I don't necessarily talk about a lot. So I just pulled some lesser known albums from the artists that I listen to a lot of. And True Sadness was one of them. Actually, I'm pretty sure I probably only listened to this album maybe once this year. But I listened to a lot of Avett Brothers. I saw the Avetts in March, which helped the cause. Number 8, some early morning work music listening, Miles Davis. This is Sorcerer. Um, I don't remember much. I think I've only listened to this once. This was when Miles was slowly starting to merge into his fusion era. This was not quite the fusion era, but it's 67. It's got Wayne Shorter on there, um, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, Tony Williams. So it's on the move to become more of the fusion that Miles would do in the early 70s. Number 7, ELO. I've collected all of ELO's albums this past year, and that caused me to listen to all of their albums. And the only one that I'm missing is Zoom. So if anybody knows where I can find a copy of Zoom, please let me know for cheap. I'm not going to spend a lot of money, no more than $20. But ELO, Jeff Lynne. Number 6, and I combined this with, well, you'll see, Wings / Paul McCartney. Listened to a lot of Paul McCartney this year. I bought a lot of his solo albums that I didn't have, I didn't own, other than Egypt Station and McCartney 3. I didn't really own any Paul McCartney records. So this is Venus and Mars. I think this is my favorite Wings album. I like it just a smidge more than Band on the Run. This, of course, Venus and Mars, Right in the Rock Show. You Gave Me the Answer I Love, Magneto and Titanium Man, Letting Go, Spirits of Ancient Egypt. It's just really, really good stuff. This is the, what is it, the 2-disc Archives collection. So really happy with that and the other albums that I've purchased this year. Number 5, another artist that I listen to quite a lot, Van Morrison. This is one of my favorites by him, Avalon Sunset. It made my 100 Greatest Albums playlist, which I ran earlier this year. Whenever God Shines His Light, I'd Love to Write Another Song, Have I Told You Lately, When Will I Ever Learn to Live in God, I'm Tired, Joey Boy, These Are the Days. Just a fantastic album. Get this if you don't have it, Avalon Sunset. Number 4, I listen to, again, no surprise here on my channel, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And that's actually funny because the top 5 are the 5 artists probably that I talk about the most. So, no big spoiler. This is actually a Tom Petty album I didn't listen to last year. This is his last with the Heartbreakers, Hypnotic Eye. Really, really cool. It reminds me of college because I bought it when I was a sophomore in college or junior. So really, really good album with the Heartbreakers. Number 3, Mr. John Prine. I mean, what more can I say? This is Fair and Square. Some great tracks on here. This was his comeback album after a cancer scare in 2005. Glory of True Love, Long Monday, Clay Pigeons, the Blaze Foley song, Bear Creek Blues. Just all around great album. Number 2, these guys, the Beatles. That's all. And number 1, by a landslide, Bob Dylan. Probably a landslide by like 20 albums. And yeah, I'll listen to Bob Dylan the most, hands down. He's my favorite. So there you go. All right, now for albums, I'm going to show you my 7 most listened to albums, because after the 7th album, it was like a tie of like 7 or 8 albums for like the next few facets. So again, really no strong order up until 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, because number 2 is tied for the same amount of listens. But anyway, at the number 7, actually the most, well, let me back that up. My favorite album of 2022, Now and the Evermore, Colin Hay. Again, I've mentioned this many, many times. I don't want to talk about it again, but all I'll say is if you don't have it, get it. If you like pop, if you like great singing, get it. This is an album that came out late in 2021, and I never really talked about it then, but this is a group that I get every now and then on my channel, the Wild Feathers. This is their album Alvarado through New West Records. If you are interested in this album, New West is always having sales. They'll price the record down to like $12, like a colored vinyl variant. If you like Tom Petty, if you like the band, if you like driving rock and roll with a little bit of a southern edge to it, get the Wild Feathers. Even a little bit of Eagles thrown in there with the harmonies, because they have 3 lead singers, which is fantastic, with Joel King, Ricky Young, and Taylor Burns. Just a fantastic group of young guys that are keeping rock and roll alive. This is their 4th true album, their 5th overall release, 6th if you count their live album. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Alvarado. Get it if you like rock and roll. That's all I can say. Get it, get it, get it. Randy Nelson. You're the Cause of This, One Day, The Cactus Blossoms, again, brother duo, harmonies, folky, maybe a little bit of rockabilly in there. Another one of my top 10 albums of last year. This is an album that I completely forgot about, and it definitely would have made my top 10, I think. But I listened to it so much at the first part of the year that I didn't think about it because I listened to so much more music toward the second half. Bright Side by the Lumineers, a really quick album, probably about 30 minutes max, maybe 28. It's the Lumineers' fourth album. It's very upbeat, based lyrically. I mean, Lumineers, it's always kind of mellow, but yeah, Bright Side, really, really good. All right, my top three. Again, two of these albums were actually all but two of these were albums that were released this year. Every Shade of Blue, The Head and the Heart. I adore this album. I really do. It's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but it resonated with me on many levels and various facets this year, and I will sing its praises. So you've seen my videos. I've talked about it. That's all I gotta say. Every Shade of Blue, The Head and the Heart. And let's stick with them. The Head and the Heart, their debut. I've listened to this album. This is probably, over the last 2 years, this is probably my most listened to album. I've listened to this album dozens of times. And again, lyrically, it's fantastic. It's folky, it's acoustic, it's great harmony, great writing. You know, whatever you want to say about indie folk, indie pop, I love this record so much. And the number one most listened to album of 2022, Lavender Days by Camp. Sorry, Glenn, but this is what it is. Folky, banjo-driven, smoky vocals, harmonies, everything that I love. Camp. It sounds like the outdoors. Sounds like you should be sitting around the campfire, you know, telling some stories and, you know, playing some guitars. That's what it sounds like. So there you go. There's my year, 2022, in the books. I am locking it up. It's there. Moving on to 2023 finally. Thank you all for watching so much in the past year. Thanks for those that have latched on the beginning part of this year. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think of my statistics here. No big surprises. And I'll talk to y'all in the comments. In the meantime, y'all be good. Take care. Talk to y'all soon. Bye now.